My name's Kathy Bechtel. I'm from Italiaoutdoors Food and Wine, and today we're creating an Italian-style mushroom bake. So we have some pre-cooked pasta. We're going to create kind of like a lasagna type thing without a lot of the fuss of a lasagna. So we're going to make a nice creamy mushroom sauce with fresh mushrooms, dried mushrooms, mascarpone cheese, which is an Italian soft cheese. We're going to mix that up with some pre-cooked pasta and Asiago cheese. Asiago cheese you'll find here in the grocery store, but it's really not the same as the Asiago we have in Italy. We do bike tours in the region near Asiago, and they have all sorts of cheeses, from fresh young cheese to aged Asiagos, which are very similar to Parmesan. So here I have kind of a middle-aged Asiago cheese, Asiago di Levo, which I'm going to use. So we're going to start by sautéing in a big sauté pan our mushrooms. I have it over medium-high heat, and again I start off with 3 glugs or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And when that comes up to speed, I'm going to start adding the ingredients. This is 1 ounce of prosciutto, which I've chopped up. This is 1 onion that I've cut into about a 1/4 inch dice. This is 1.5 ounces of dried mushrooms. I have a mixture here of porcini, chanterelles, and lobster mushrooms, but you can use whatever you can find. I reconstituted them by soaking them in 2 ounces of water, and then I strained off the water, and we're going to use that in the recipe. So this is the water, warm water that the dried mushrooms were soaking in. This is an 8-ounce container of mascarpone cheese. We have 1 pound of mixed fresh mushrooms, 1/2 cup of white wine, some chopped rosemary, chopped sage, about a clove of minced garlic, and this is 1.5 cups of the Asiago cheese. So we begin by sautéing the 1 onion and the prosciutto. And that's going to cook a few minutes until the onion starts to get soft and translucent. So that's going to take about 3 or 4 minutes. Now that the onions are starting to get soft, I'm going to add the 1 pound of sliced fresh mushrooms. This is a combination of button mushrooms and some portobellos. So here again, these are going to take a few minutes to cook down. At this point, I might add a little salt and pepper. But I'm going to say that it'll take about 5 minutes for these mushrooms to cook down. The next step is to add the 1.5 ounces of chopped dried tomatoes. I'm going to mix them in. And then we're going to add the liquid that they soaked in. This is about 2 cups, again, water that the dried mushrooms soaked in, so they've got a nice mushroom flavor. And we're going to turn the heat up here and let that cook down for a few minutes. So that will probably take about 7 minutes or so for that liquid to cook down. Okay, now that the white wine has reduced, we add the final few ingredients. This is about a clove of garlic that we're adding. Season with a little chopped sage and rosemary. Mix that in. I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit, and we're going to add, this is an 8-ounce container of mascarpone cheese. This is a nice soft cheese. It's going to melt right into the sauce and make a nice creamy sauce for our mushrooms. See how that melts right in? I'm just going to take one more little taste of the sauce. Add a little more salt and some pepper. And our sauce is done. I'm turning off the heat, and we're going to combine it with our pre-cooked pasta. Now I've got 1 pound of pre-cooked penne pasta that I'm going to add to the sauce. And we're going to stir it up. If you didn't want to do a bake, you could probably serve it just as it is. It'd be wonderful. But we're going to transfer all of this into a glass lasagna pan, 13 by 9. We're going to add the Asiago cheese, and we're going to bake it in the oven. Okay, we're ready to add a little bit of the Asiago cheese, and we're going to save the rest of it to put on the top. We're going to stir that a little bit. And get ready to transfer it to our baking dish. And we're just going to transfer the pasta into the baking dish, level things out, and we're going to top it with the rest of our Asiago cheese. I have a preheated oven. I brought it up to 350 degrees earlier today, and now we're going to just pop it in the oven. It's going to cook. First we're going to cover it with foil. So we're going to cook it for a half an hour with the foil on, and then we're going to open the oven, take the foil off, and leave the foil off for the last 15 minutes of cooking. So it'll cook for 45 minutes total. 30 minutes with the foil on, the last 15 without the foil on. So here we go, we'll pop it right in the oven. And we'll be back in 30 minutes to take the foil off. We're ready to go. 15 minutes ago, I took the foil off. And now we should be done. We've got it nicely browned on top. I've let it cool for a few minutes, and now we're ready to serve. And there you go, our finished mushroom Asiago bake. I'm Kathy Bechtel of Italiaoutdoors Food and Wine.